to be able to treat it that way. So yeah, always seek anytime you're in a situation like that, you want to seek good professional advice to make you to put you in the best position possible.
Because there are always options available that you probably know nothing about and have never even heard of.
Absolutely.
And that just nails what I think the purpose of the show is to don't be afraid to talk to people.
Right.
Especially when it comes to people like in your industry, people in our industry, because we don't charge for answers.
Correct.
We only charge for results, right?
We love giving answers.
We
love it. It's never an inconvenience to ask us. We want to provide that information to people.
And it's like, this is what we do. Like, if I could help somebody, even if I don't get a deal out of it, if I could point them in the right direction and they get what they want, that makes me happy. I'm happy to share the information. So yeah, but getting out there and getting the information, that's the hard part, because sometimes people just, put it off. And there's so many situations where I've told people, hey, this is how I would do it. This is what I would do. And, they call me a year or two later and it's like, we haven't done it yet. It's like, okay, no problem. But
I think a lot of times what happens too is people are under the impression that they need to get all of their ducks in a row first.
Yeah.
And then call a lender once they're ready, right? Or they need to get everything figured out and then they call a realtor to get moving forward.
Right.
And that's fine. I mean, I know that from personal experience, I mean, we pick up the pieces wherever you're at and we go from there.
Right.
But more often than not, like you're saying, if you were to call someone at the beginning of your journey and start getting some direction on where you're going, some options available to you that you didn't realize, like you could have saved yourself hours and weeks and months potentially of research that you didn't need to do on your own that might not even really be the most relevant or up-to-date research in the first place. I mean, that's what we're here to do, is to answer questions and help our community.
Oh, there we go. And to echo that even more, from a financing standpoint, getting in early. We talk about it all the time. It's like, don't wait until your lease is 60 days before your lease is up to have your credit checked, because it's like, there's so many things that you can do ahead of time to put yourself in a better situation to possibly qualify for a little bit better program or for a little bit of assistance, rather than just waiting till the last minute and hoping for the best. Get in early. Talk to somebody 6 months before your lease expires, a year before your lease. The earlier you do it, the more time you have to prepare, the more time you have to save, to pay off debt, whatever it is, instead of just hoping for the best when it comes time.
Right. And the biggest takeaway that I hope people get from hearing all of this is it's not an inconvenience to call us.
No.
It is not an inconvenience to call us, even if it's way too early. We want you to have answers. We want to provide them to you.
Absolutely.
You do not have to commit to something just because you called a professional and now you're just green light ready to go. We want you to be able to be well prepared a year in advance if it's possible for you.
Yeah.
It's literally the value add we offer. It's we want you to have one person that you can go to that you trust, that you don't have to create a new relationship on every transaction. Someone that you can rely on, that you know is going to give you advice based on your circumstances, not theirs. And the amount of time that people in our industry spend just taking care of relationships with people we've already transacted with is far greater than the time we spend with new clients. It's because we want you to feel comfortable, pick up the phone, and it's just like calling your guy.
Or woman.
There you are. Or your gal.
Your person.
Your person. One of the inspectors I liked using, he's got his name of his company is My Guy Home Inspection.
I love him.
What a great name.
Yeah,
My Guy.
absolutely.
I'm calling My Guy.
Right.
And and that's why, especially at our level of when we're commission sales, so we only get paid when we transact, but everything else is for building that relationship so you feel comfortable. Wouldn't it be awesome if you had a My Guy car salesman?
Yeah.
That you knew whatever you needed, you can go to that guy and he's going to answer that question honestly instead of walking in blind to a showroom and praying to God that you're not taken advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And that's with anything. I mean, any line of work, anybody you deal with, it's always nice to have someone, patio furniture. I got a guy that, great at patio furniture. If I need something, I need an umbrella, he knows exactly what I'm looking for. Anything you could think of. It's always nice to work with someone that you trust and someone that, is knows what they're doing and is giving you valuable information, isn't just looking at you
without pressure tactics.
Right. Isn't just looking at you like you're a dollar sign. And that's definitely not my business. That's not how you guys do your business, and gals. We're here to help. So get in early. Do not wait until 60 days before your lease comes up to talk to a lender or a real estate professional, please.
I always learn something when you're on the show. Every single time.
Well, Christin, you got anything to add before we jump to commercial?
That is what I have to add. Sly, you always teach me something. Every single week that you're here, I learn something new.
Hey,
I'm so grateful that you're here.
And to cap off the hour, Sly, let's get a quick plug. How do people reach you if they want to talk to you?
Yeah, sure. My cell phone number is always available, 847-722-1775. My email is sly@ccm.com for crosscountrymortgage.com. So sly@ccm.com. And my website is ccmsly.com. Any one of those ways.
Great. And Christin, same thing. If someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they reach you?
Sure. Best way to get a hold of me is going to be through my phone, call or text, 847-977-6751. That's 847-977-6751. Email is a great way to get a hold of me as well. It's going to be my name but backwards, so kaufmankristin@gmail.com.
And everyone knows the best way to reach me is get on your knees and pray.
Unlocking Lake County with Dick Barr will return in just a few moments after these important messages. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Unlocking Lake County with your host, Dick Barr.
And welcome back. This is Dick Barr, your host of Unlocking Lake County, here on 98.3 The Life FM with my beautiful co-host, Christin Kaufman. Say hello.
Welcome back, everyone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello.
I'm getting a lot of hiss on your mic.
Hello.
Out of nowhere. Interesting. Tell you what, why don't you pull over, what is that, mic number 6?
Hello, everybody.
There we
Can
go.
You hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, I know why.
Oh, why?
Try 7 again.
Hello.
Oh, that's a little bit better.
Wow.
I hit the wrong button. See, that's exactly why we do the test. And Sly Marinca.
Welcome back, everybody.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed the first hour with us. We got one more hour together, and this is going to be packed full of great information and advice that you can use from both a selling perspective and a buying perspective. And as we near the end of the spring season, with summer quick upon us, here's some strategies if you're thinking about getting on the market and capitalizing while we know prices are high. Not that we're predicting any drops, but we know they're currently high, and we know there's still very low inventory. Your chances of getting top dollar are very high right now, and there's some strategies to make your home shine better than the competition. And in areas of really tight inventory, what your house looks like is not as important as when there's more inventory. So more inventory, more options. Buyers are more distinct about what they're looking for and what they'll pay for certain things. But in areas of low inventory, obviously you can get away with just about anything. But Christin and I put together this list of ways, probably the most important ways, that you can improve the value of your house without a lot of investment. So, Christin, why don't you start it off? We made this list. Why don't we just kind of knock it down, starting at the top, and we'll comment on everything as we go along.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that you are going to want to take into consideration is the first thing that buyers are seeing upon pulling up to your home, which is your curb appeal enhancements, right? So what are they seeing? Are you hitting them with that wow factor the second that they pull up to see this house, right? And those are going to be really focusing on simple landscaping tips that you can do. Also, just making sure that like the exterior painting, repairs, if you have shutters that need to be fixed, stuff like that, as silly as it sounds, really make a big difference when someone pulls up and sees that first impression of that home.
Well, I don't think it sounds silly at all. I think it's 100%. It goes without saying that sometimes buyers know they like your house, the minute they see it.
Absolutely.
Right. And that includes, and sadly, that includes sometimes your neighbor's house. If your neighbor's house is in disarray, sometimes you might, if you have a friendly relationship with your neighbors and you're trying to sell, ask them to take down their political signs.
Oh,
cut the grass for them.
Right? Offer to cut their grass if it's 18 inches high.
Yeah.
But yeah, shutters are a great example. Rotted wood, rotted fascias, rotted soffits. Those are big ones that we see. Screen doors, screens. Invest in some new screens, especially if you've got holes in your old one, or they're all the black is kind of flapping in the wind, or all of the kind of the uniform black coloring of the screens has gone. Now it just looks like pure metal, and it reflects a lot of light. Those look negatively on the elevation of your house. So those are important things to hit, and it's not that expensive. And then, of course, landscaping, like you mentioned, is cut the beds. Bring in wood chips. Those are inexpensive ways you can do it. And, of course, there are expensive ways you can accomplish that by hiring someone to do it. But you can do it really inexpensively. Go to Home Depot, spend a few bucks, get a couple of bags of chips, and get a shovel that will do a nice job of cutting your beds and making that nice crisp look to your lawn. It makes a big difference.
It's a psychological thing, because it's like, if I see this on the outside, what's going on the inside? What is it that I'm not seeing? If you see disarray and disrepair and things that need to be maintained that haven't been, it's like, well, what about everything else?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And on the flip side of that, if you are a buyer and you're pulling up and you're seeing a beautifully landscaped house and you're seeing the outside already looking really pretty, you're starting to envision what that might look like pulling up as the owner of that home as well. Absolutely. So moving on from the outside, you're walking through the door. Now we are inside. What are some of the interior upgrades that we can focus on? Cost-effective renovations are going to be like the kitchen and the bathrooms are always going to be things that are going to have a return in investment, I believe. Dick, do you agree with that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Flooring updates as well. That's something that you don't really look at much once you live somewhere. Like, how often do you spend walking around looking at your floor, right? Not really that often. But when you're walking in to look at a house to potentially buy, that's like one of the first things that I feel like people bring up right away.
Absolutely.
So, making sure that you've got some updates to your floors is a great way to maximize. And just a real quick touch on this. We're not giving you a list of things that you have to do to sell your house, but we are talking about, if you're looking to maximize selling your house for the most amount of money, what are some of the ways that are going to do that? And that is what we're talking about. So if you don't have it in your budget to change your flooring and you just need to sell, we're not saying that means you can't sell if you can't update your floors, but it is absolutely a good investment to make.
You raise a great point, and I'll say this often to sellers. I can sell your house if it's literally on fire right now. There is a way to market and a price that we can use to attract a buyer. So whether it's a pile of rubble or it's the Taj Mahal, there are buyers for it. The question is, how do you maximize your return on investment if you choose to? I do want to talk about paint, because paint is something, a lot of times we'll make that recommendation that you can paint, and we get some pushback sometimes from sellers. They're like, buyers are going to want to choose their own color.
I hear that a lot.
I hear that a lot, but I'll be honest, from our experience, it's not a valid argument.
No, people don't want to have to paint when they move in.
They don't want to. They want to come in and look, and that's why, like right now, the big color is still, believe it or not, and pastels are starting to come back. We're starting to see, but not so much in our market. But they are starting to come back, especially kind of on the national scene. But agreeable gray is still the perfect color. It works with white trims. It works with wood trims. And it's that perfect blend, because grays come in a bluish tone and grays come in a brownish tone. Agreeable gray is like perfectly matched in the middle. It's like they used AI to design it.
Literally, it's the weirdest color to actually look at. When I sold my townhome a couple of years ago, we took that advice, and we had the whole place painted. The agreeable, I think the specific term for that brand was like grayish or something like that. But the agreeable gray, it's this insane color where you look at it and you're like, I don't see any color, like at all. Like I don't see it. Like it's not a color.
Well, you don't see any color cast.
Right, exactly. So there's no real color there that's jumping out at you. So there's nothing to dislike about it. So when a homeowner or potential homeowner walks in and they see the home, they get to see the home. Right, they're not seeing the color; they're just seeing the home for what it is, and that's the thing, is it's going to showcase your home to them.
And we, the having that gray is, some people, oh, it's too cold and stark. It's really not. It's really a warm color, and it creates, in the photography, number one, it reflects a lot of light, so the photography comes out fantastic without spending a lot of time editing. It also creates, when you have white trims, that beautiful contrast against the deep walls, not dark walls, the deep walls with the rich, kind of bright contrast of the white trim.